introduce our first presenter, which is Todd Bizio with Tasty Spot. He's got a really neat business and a really cool story. So hope you enjoy it. Todd?
Yeah.
Hello, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces and some new ones. How many folks here like supporting local startups? Wouldn't be here otherwise, right? How many people like to support food entrepreneurs?
I like food.
Yeah. So we do, I do, and I saw it as a problem sometimes finding food trucks, finding local startups, small business, restaurant owners, and being able to see what they have to offer ahead of time to have an experience that not only I would like and my wife would like, but also the finicky kids that we have at home. So we decided to build a platform called Tasty Spot, which really addresses those particular issues. And we've done that by building not only a mobile app, which I'll talk about, but also a kiosk solution, hardware solution, for vendors to really be able to engage with that incoming data that they're receiving from our platform. So when you download the app, and I'll ask you to do that later if you haven't already, you will see a map view with hotspots on it, which will show maybe one or more food trucks in a given area. If you click on that, it'll open up. It'll show for instance, 4 in that particular area. You can also go to the list view and see all of the vendors that we have in our platform, including the ones that are not currently open to receiving orders, given the time of the day or whatever the case may be. Once you get into that, you will see the specific details of the vendor platform. They each have their own, and they control their own profile. So they can put up a picture, a description, their menu items, their pricing, and if you see the green, that means that you can actually order in real time from the app. Once you move there, you will receive confirmation, custom confirmation code that says that the order has been placed and a countdown and how long it'll take for the order to be ready. This happens to be a screenshot on the vendor side. So the vendor has 5 minutes to accept or reject the order. You receive confirmation back as to why, if they happen to reject it, because they may be out of an item or they may be closing up for the day, etc. So you'll see that information coming back to you. Sometimes it may be that they're out and you could order something else. They also have the ability in real time to actually turn those menu items off when they get a chance, so that wouldn't be a conflict. So food trucks obviously are small, sometimes sole entrepreneurs, a couple people in the truck at once. They have problems in terms of marketing themselves and building sales. We have a platform that can drive more people to them by having one single place to go. Operational inefficiencies, obviously, they're taking orders at the window, they're writing it down, they're turning around, they're cooking it, they're trying to do everything at once. Again, our kiosk solution with the printed ticket comes out and eliminates some of those steps for them. And then hotspots and locations are always a big deal. Where can you find them? So they, thanks to our brewery industry, have a lot more spots now than they used to. So we're working with the brewery industry a lot. There's Talon Market on Wednesdays, Civic Plaza on Tuesdays. There's some places, but there's not enough hotspots for all the food trucks that are starting to emerge in our ecosystem, which is sort of a good thing. We need to create more of those. For instance, we're working with Innovate ABQ to start to have a hotspot here 1 or more days a week, depending on the audience's response to that. And there will be a food truck out here for you to order from after 1 Million Cups and the talks that follow that. So, but vendors, oftentimes they leave the restaurant industry because they want to have control over their own business, right? We created a platform where they can do that. They have total control over their pricing, their operational hours, their menus, acceptance of the orders, as I mentioned, every aspect of it. Even forward-looking calendar is often a big deal, right? You may know where they are in a hotspot, like I showed you earlier. If they're not on there, where are they going to be tomorrow? Where are they going to be next Tuesday? We're building that in. We're creating a platform that just creates all kinds of value for them with a POS that they can afford. Our POS solution is way lower than anything else in the market. In fact, we're working very hard to integrate the current vendors for no cost at all. So that is the Tasty Spot solution. We are the first ones that I know of who have separated the problem. So there's a vendor app and a consumer app, and they talk to each other in real time. So again, we have a lot of traction so far here in Albuquerque. What keeps me up at night is starting to go out and two things. One here is getting people to actually use the app. A lot of people have said, yeah, it's a great idea, we want to use it. Comes to reality, and we're not seeing the transactions that we'd like to see, and that happens with a startup. But two, scaling. We want to scale something from Albuquerque that revolutionizes the industry, US-wide at least, and beyond. So we need to identify with the right people in the ecosystems that are out there in Denver that I've already started and other places to have these types of gatherings and to connect, obviously, directly with the vendors in the community that's going to support growth in their given areas. But you'll see that we have a lot of the vendors that you know and love are already on our platform. I love the picture of, this was from our launch party. We had a launch party August 26th at Red Door. It's a good collaboration with Red Door Brewery. A gentleman in a tuxedo enjoying some street food, so it's pretty awesome to see. Here's a call to action. Download the app. Use the app. You can do it right now. We're on iOS and Android. If you want a download card, I have some here. When you download and use the card the first time, or the app the first time, you get a $2 off that is from me, from Tasty Spot and our team. And we want to do that just to inspire you to utilize it. So if anybody wants the download card, please use it. But Tasty 95 will allow you to get that $2 off on your first order. Like I said, we have a food truck out there momentarily getting set up, and he'd love to see your orders today. So team development is another big deal, right? A lot of people say, we have brain drain, we have people, great coders, like some of you in this room are leaving Albuquerque to go somewhere else. Well, we actually attracted my business partner, who was living in San Francisco, to Albuquerque to be a part of this. So that's a good story. Our UI UX designer is a guy that he worked with on a wearable electronic startup, and now he's based in Phoenix, but he's supporting this activity as well. And another request is that we need to get more boots on the ground. If somebody wants to talk to me about an opportunity to go out and do some customer acquisition and start to work on building our relationships in the community and getting downloads, please do. We need people to build up that team. We have Nicole Taylor's been doing a great job. She has a lot of different hats, as a lot of you know, in this community, but she's been helping out with our vendor acquisition and has made some nice connections. So we're looking to do a lot more of that, and I appreciate you all coming out here. It's exciting to see. I was here from the first 1 Million Cups on, and to see people continuing to come out and new people coming out, it's great. So who's downloaded the app since the start of the talk? Thank you so much. Please do. We appreciate that, and that's the way we're going to make startups work here, is we got to support one another, right? Thank you. Questions? Paul?
It seems like every startup weekend, somebody says, I'll have an app that lets people connect with food trucks. How did you do this when everybody keeps having this idea and it never happens?
Great question. Yeah, you'll see in the App Store, and of course that's one of the first places I started to look and see what's out there, whether or not there was a great solution that already existed. You see a lot of dead soldiers out there. You see a lot of apps that are specifically focused in one area, like maybe a Finder, but we wanted to create something that really creates this overall solution and really focuses on vendors specifically, doing a lot of customer discovery with the vendors to find out what their pain points are and how we can fix them. Bruce?
Bruce Pitt, longtime Fat Pipe tenant. That's the only reason I said it, to get the woohoo. How does your app handle credit cards versus cash? I noticed when I signed up it asked for credit cards. I didn't put one in. So how's that work with the food trucks, the cash option?
Yeah, so all the orders, and I didn't talk about our business model, so that talks to that as well. The orders that are placed through the platform with a credit card are the way that we're making money and the way that we are trying to drive transactions to eliminate cash, eliminate lines, eliminate some of those things by having an efficient platform. If people want to go directly up to the window, use our app to see what they have to offer and then go buy it directly, we take no cut of that. That's just normal business. So basically, in fact, we use the same back end that Lyft and Pinterest and various others use from a card transaction standpoint. That's the only way we're picking up any revenue from transactions. Some other aspects. Yes?
Just wondering if you'd like to see greater activity and download and people using it. There's a lot of well-founded fear right now about data breaches. And I'm just wondering if that's playing into it, if you have a sense of
Yeah, and that's, of course, why we didn't build our own back-end credit card transaction platform. It's expensive. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's no reason to do it, and we wanted to use one that's extremely reputable. So that's why we went that direction.
You get paid based on transactions?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
Do you have a way that if someone's having an event that you can let your vendors know so they can maybe be there?
Yeah, that's another thing that we're building in is event coordination and planning and really trying to utilize our network to attract vendors, even in short notice. For instance, this morning, I had a different vendor planned yesterday. He had to cancel because of the relationships that I have. I was able to get somebody else here, yesterday afternoon to show up this morning. So by having a great relationship with vendors, we're going to help event coordinators. We're going to drive more business to them, and we're also going to collaborate a lot with other community partners like the New Mexico Guild, Brewers Guild, and folks like that to help them run their events. Any others? Thank you.
Three more. I have a question. What were your, just through your journey, if you can kind of identify, the sort of critical moments where it could have gone one way or the other, and how you kind of powered through that to get to where you are?
Yeah, well, we're just starting the journey, but one great example is to really pivot from a pure web-based solution or mobile solution to integrating the kiosk. We saw that transactions are coming in, and that's good, that we're seeing some traction on that end, but that the vendors being busy or being out delivering a plate, we're not hearing or seeing the the push notification coming through the phone. So we decided let's build a solution for that. So we built the kiosk and the Bluetooth printer to print off not only the fact that an order came through that's Tasty Spot order, but the details. So it makes that operational efficiency that much higher. So that's one example of that.
Okay, red or green?
So I'm spent a lot of time in southern New Mexico, so it's kind of a more detailed answer. I love New Mexico chili, but down south when I'm in Las Cruces supporting the Arrowhead Center, or being down there, it's definitely green. Up here, it's got to be red.
Awesome. And finally, of course, what as a community can we do to help support you and your venture?
Yeah, so I mentioned some of those things. Obviously, download the app, support our vendors out there, and if anybody knows of anybody in specifically the Denver startup or food truck market, I'd love to talk to you about that. I'll be there next week trying to build the momentum out there. Okay. All right, thanks.
Awesome, thank you.
I had one more for all of you, which is I'm gonna ask Alonzo. Were you paying attention? Which question do you think was the best? So I don't have to play favorites.
Which question was the best? I think Paul's question probably. Wow, yeah. No, that is corruption. That is what you call corruption. Okay. Awesome. Sonia?
Okay. All right, so I'm up next. I'm going to give you guys some events. So basically what we like to do is share some events that are happening around Albuquerque, so you guys know what's going on, right? So I got a few to share with you before we move to our next presenter. All right, so today at 12:30 to 1:30, there's an Albuquerque WordPress meetup luncheon. So basically, if you work in WordPress and you just want to hang around with other people who work in WordPress and complain about it or say how much you love it or help each other out, that's happening today at 3901 Central Avenue. If you want to know more, I'd say look up the meetup group on Meetup. It's Albuquerque WordPress Meetup. Also today, actually tonight, West is holding a series of workshops. They're calling it a mini MBA. And specifically today, they're going to be looking at market research. It runs 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It started in September 20th, so if you haven't gone yet, you've only missed one night. But yeah, it's tonight, and it runs through November 15th, every Wednesday night. So if you want to check that out, go to west.org, and that's West with 2 S's. And let's see, so tomorrow is Taza from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's kind of like a bilingual version of 1 Million Cups, and that happens at the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Also tomorrow evening, 4 p.m., tomorrow at 4 p.m., ABQID is holding an SBIR workshop. If you don't know where ABQID is, it's actually just across the street here at Central. So they're right near the corner. SBIR workshop, if you're a small business and you're working with an innovative new idea, definitely go check out the workshop. Also tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m., Edkey is having their grand opening. And if you don't know Edkey, there are these beautiful bracelets handmade by Native Americans that are being sold right at a price that we should be paying for this beautiful jewelry. So hopefully you guys can check out Edkey tomorrow night at 5:30, and that's 1216 4th Street, Northwest. Half a page. So Friday, most of Friday is the Experience IT conference held by the New Mexico Tech Council. They're right here, right? And then also Friday night, so the convention center has been holding free movie nights in the Civic Plaza every Friday over the summer. So if you're missing out, definitely go check it out. The free movie this Friday is Hidden Figures. There's also usually a band before the movie. The food this Friday is going to be Tucanos. They're going to have a $10 plate available. So, and they usually have popcorn too. Definitely very important for a movie. And those are all my announcements that I have. Oh, no, I had one more. Can you grab me that piece of paper there, Paul? Sorry, I almost forgot. So, also coming up, this is in October 21st, is the Solar Fiesta and Community Fair 2017. And that is in the Sawmill Community Land Trust Park. So if you want to know more about the Solar Fiesta, I'm betting Athena knows a lot about it. So you can come up and talk with her later, but first she's got something else to do. And so next up is Paul, and he's going to introduce our next speaker.
Our next speaker is returning after about a year, I think, to give us an update. It's Athena Christodoulou, who's going to talk about Udorami.
Thank you. All right, guys, raise your hand if you can read your wife's mind. Oh, good. We've got a few mind readers in here. Well, I have to admit that Udorami was created because my husband couldn't read my mind. I swear I wasn't thinking socks or air compressor. So that was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we created a list-making site, and as you can see, it's there to create, share, and collaborate on unique online lists. We're out there. It's web-based. We've got over 350 members, and it's been fun. But we've been kind of plodding along. It's been a bit of a hobby. Who is involved with it? Well, right now, it's a core team. My co-founder, hey, we've been in it now for 3 years. Jamie Corley, who is, she's a co-owner of Ideas and Coffee, co-working space, and Southwest Cyberport, and myself as CEO. We engaged Christy Welton-Kitter as our Chief Operations Officer, and what she did was amazing. She dressed us up and geeked us down because our user isn't the web developer or the designer or somebody who is very used to apps, but it's just the regular person. People who love Pinterest because it's so easy to push that button, who can Facebook because it's simple and they've learned all the ins and outs of it. So much so that we've coined a new verb, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. But we've had to find our early adopter. Now, who needs things that isn't getting them? Teachers. Did you know that on average, a teacher pulls out $500 out of their own pocket to put supplies in that classroom? And nobody thinks of it. It is so ubiquitous. It's on tax forms. But is that right? No. So we've gone into the schools. They're our early adopter, and I'm getting a lot of help. Christy helped us with our case study. We went into El Dorado. We worked with our parent-teachers organizations, and in 2 weeks, they reported that they got $300 extra in supplies. This was at a Trisco High School, so we're making inroads in the schools. But it's a one-on-one operation to start with, because we have to gain their trust. And because that's not at the top of their list of problems. You know, they're working about standardized testing and maybe defense of themselves in the school, right? Guns, excuse me. Now, that means I need to split up into 2 people to be able to run this operation and go into the schools. But thank goodness I found Sarah. And Sarah, introduce yourself, please. Stand up and introduce yourself.
My name is Sarah. I'm an interpersonal communications student at the University of New Mexico, And basically what that is one-on-one relationships. So I sit down with the schools and I get to know their needs, and each school who's involved, they're all different. They all have supplies for the teachers or closets for the kids. So that's what I get to do. I get to know the needs that these people have.
Thank you. But know that this is scalable. So once it's one-on-one, once people start trusting and learning how to use it, then it scales up. But we kept, hold on, I think I have a slide I forgot. Oh, yeah, there we go. We kept hearing, you need an app, you need an app. We're getting an app, an iOS app to start with, because we are bootstrapping this. Novantum, I think Brian back there, wave your hand. He's working to get us that iOS app. Go, Brian. All the teachers are asking for it because they're on iPads. And the millennials, because they don't know anything different. And then I've engaged Travis Kellerman to help me with some more marketing. It's been a journey. We've loved it. Now, the verb, Yumi. Let's Yumi it. You've had Google it. You've had friend me. You've had tweet it. Now it's Yumi it. That's a lot of words to explain. Just go read the blog. Go on the site, become a member. Become a member. That's our ask. We need introductions to teachers and parents who are very involved with their schools. And we'll do the rest from there. And sign up, because you too can read somebody's mind when you start Yuming it. Thank you. Questions? Oh my gosh, you read my mind. No, I'm just kidding. TJ.
Awesome job 3 years ago and still working at it. I think that passion comes through, so good work on that. And then, oh, by the way, TJ Cook with ABQID. I really love the niching in on a specific problem with teachers in the classroom where there's money that can be saved, and solving this problem of parents of kids helping the teacher, etc. That I love that specificity. I just encourage you to really dig in deeper there and see what other problems you might be able to solve, etc. So good stuff.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Organized. What has been the most surprising thing you've learned from actually taking it to the teachers and the education space that you didn't know ahead?
Okay, what has been the surprising thing that I learned from taking it to the teachers? Well, maybe Sarah can tell that one, because nothing is surprising to me.
I think the most surprising thing was that no school is the same. We went to Cottonwood Preparatory, and that was based on the teacher's in-class needs. She mentioned hand sanitizers, wipes, paper towels, tissues. Where we went to Atrisco Heritage, and they're trying to adopt the El Dorado idea, where El Dorado has a closet, and Atrisco Heritage is trying to make a goodwill for the kids. They have a lot, I believe it's Title IX, where they have a lot of homeless kids who need hygiene products, a towel to take a shower in the morning at the school, and computers, and so prom dresses. So their list was socks from Walmart, sweatshirts in the wintertime, and so each school was different.
Okay. Paul?
Paul Sauter from Ecclesy. How do you make money?
You primed me for that one, but I've got a good answer. Affiliate links. We're associated with over 25,000 e-commerce sites. So if somebody puts an item on their list, and then they click on that item, buy it, we get a cut. Yes?
Nick Harmon, Fresco Harmony. Do you get pushback from administrations just based on the fact that you're shining a light on there's inadequacies inside of the public school system? I mean, do you get the pushback for that? People that are resistant to adopting your ideas.
Do we get pushback from the administration? At first I thought yes, because when we first tried to go in over a year ago, the CFO of APS said, well, we can't endorse this. But the reality is they're doing the best that they can. The administration, I've had support from the principals. I think one of the pictures showed one of the vice principals, because the service is free to them and we're working to help them. Then no, actually no pushback. Yes.
I'd like to echo that. I like this idea of the teacher thing because I imagine it as a kind of a focused growth point. I mean, I imagine a use case where a teacher says, hey parents, please get this app. It'll list my needs. Parents get the app, lists their needs. Maybe mothers or whatever, right? So because you're focused on women, maybe they say, oh, hey, partner, please log on to this and get my needs. And then you have kind of a spidering thing. Have you thought about how you might capture that kind of use case growth by like taking the parents and saying, hey, like having it targeted to maybe mothers of elementary school children, and having like their maybe demographically appropriate needs being things that they might want to put on their list.
Okay, so the question is, have I thought about making it go viral to a specific, maybe millennial parents? You read my mind. That was the original target market, were millennial parents. How to get them, how to reach them. This is our beachhead, is teachers.
So what are you doing to, once you've now engaged them by having them buy things from the teacher, what are you doing or what are you going to do to engage them?
So what are we doing to engage them? This is why we're getting the app. That is specifically to reach the millennials.
I would recommend like demographically appropriate shopping items that they might want to be asking of their partners at home.
Get with me afterwards. Yes.
Kind of a constructive criticism kind of thing. I'm Mark with West. What is Udorami a word? Does it mean something? And if so, what does it mean?
I skipped that slide. I'm so sorry. I actually will go back to it. Udorami actually means gifts between you and me. So Dora means gifts in Greek, right, Dean? So literally it means gifts between you and me. And I made that word up.
So it's a syllogism or something. It's not a language.
It is not in our language, not yet. I'm going to put it there, just like Yumi.
When you are talking about this, which by the way is just, it encompasses a lot of amazing things and potentials, and I see it as just a huge, really great thing. But when in my opinion, when you say things like, we've invented this word, you just Yumi it, and our plan is to go viral, like those are the in my opinion, those are the kinds of things that actually just happen organically. So,
but they're planned. That is what is the goal.
Right. You're telling people how to interact with this new thing, as opposed to letting it form its own thing. I can move on from that. I'm sorry, but what I'm getting at is, I think that the way to reach like the millennials or people is to go to the core of what gifts between you and me is, and we have a huge problem with super consumerism and waste in this country. So if it's a forum where people can hey, I have this perfectly good thing, I want to offer it, and it becomes more of an organic exchange of, I don't need this anymore, I can use things that you don't need anymore, and it becomes like that, and then people adopt it as, hey, let's do this for the schools, hey, do this for this class, and as opposed to, and the list making part is really great in terms of you'll always have a list of things you're keeping an eye out for that you don't necessarily want to buy new or aren't in your area or what have you. So it has a lot of this organic exchange of and connection between gifts. And so I would just invite or to think of the core of that aspect of it and let it, connect, finding people to connect with things they're into and things they need.
Okay, so you're talking going beyond online buying, and I agree with you. I'm in solar and sustainability. The consumerism is not the key, and if you'll notice, you can always add items to a list using a picture of something that you've taken, and you can always use this as a registry. You don't have to buy it from the store that maybe the link takes you to and still mark it off. So it can be something from your own closet. So yes, I do actually envision seeing this being used for something other than online purchasing. Absolutely. Yes.
If you moved away from online purchasing, though, wouldn't your revenue be cut really bad?
So wouldn't my revenue be cut very bad if I moved away from online purchasing? It's not me that's doing the purchasing, so it's going to be everyone out there using it. And it takes surprisingly few people to support us at this point. Now, I'm open to selling it, and there we go with making a lot of money, right? But it's just the beginning with the affiliate links. It could include ads. It could include subscriptions. It could include an enterprise solution for purchase orders. So there's different routes that this can be taken to. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
If my wife creates a list and shares it with me in some way, how does that happen?
So if your wife creates a list, how can she share it with you? She can do it multiple ways. If you're a member, she can include you in the viewing group, so you can go online and see the list at any point. She can create a link and text it or email it to you. And what else was there? Oh, that's right. She could also directly email it to you. And then you would have a link to it. It could still be private, and the only way to view it is with that link.
Share your own list?
At the bottom of the list, does it say start and share your own list? It actually, in the email that you would get, right, you're not a member yet.
Asking me to look at your list?
Yes.
Is there also an invitation there so I can make my own list?
If it's an email, yes, you do get an invitation. Anybody else? Thank you.
One more question?
Yeah. Is that your tagline, gifts between you and me?
Actually, our tagline, let me see, read if I can, is harmonize your life in a digital world. The name, that's why you haven't seen it. That's okay, that's what we started with. People pivot, people decide. Gifts between you and me describes the name, but we wanted it to be more than gifts, because it is more than gifts.
Gifting schools.
The schools are our beachhead, are our early adopter, are our beginning point. They aren't the one and only.
But the word gifts in the broader concept is help. And so helping you by picking up your milk and bread on the way home is just as gifty as actual wrapped gifts.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Gifts can be something more than a thing, can be more than, it can be helping somebody. And so, okay, thank you. So gifts between you and me sound better? Yes. Okay, you got it.
That's the tagline on your slide. So it's now my happy role to ask New Mexico's official state question, red or green?
Definitely green. I'm a wimp. Mild green.
And finally, what can the community do for you?
Thank you. What can you do? You can sign up and use it yourself, and you can give us connections. Specifically, Sarah, she'll be here at the front. She'll take your business cards or give you a way for you to communicate with us later in getting us connections with the schools. It's a matter of trust. Thank you.
Thanks so much.